And before we go into all the really big collector's editions and stuff like that, let's have a look at the ordinary pickups. I picked up Dishonored, but I haven't played it yet. It's still sealed, as you can see. Came with this pre-order steel case, which is always nice. It's a nice bonus. You know, we didn't pay anything extra for it. I've heard a lot of people both praising and bashing that game, so I'm really curious to give it a whirl and see what I think of it myself. Also picked up the Testament of Sherlock Holmes from Cyanide Frogware and sorry, not Cyanide, Frogware, and I really enjoyed the point-and-click adventure games, and this looks like they've had so much more production value, and really look forward to try this one out. The graphics are amazing, and I mean, just the trailer they released. I think Atlas is publishing this in America. The trailer they put out was pretty cool. The soundtrack is really amazing, so really looking forward to trying that one out. Picked up Doom 3, the BFG edition, the Big Fucking Gun edition, and it was dirt cheap. And you know, I played Doom 3 on the PC, and I played Doom 3 on the Xbox, the original Xbox. So you know, I played this game, but it's included. You know, it includes Doom 1 and 2, and it includes the all-new expansion for this one, and the Resurrection of Evil expansion as well. So can't go wrong with it. It was dirt cheap, so I kind of like Doom. It was, I mean, it still has some of those corridor shooter elements, but they added a bit of, I wouldn't say survival horror, but they added a bit of horror elements, well, jump scares to the formula. And I think a lot of old school FPS players didn't like Doom 3, but I kind of liked it because they went away from the just running and gunning and into a bit more immersive storytelling and scares and stuff like that. So, well, I can't really say I didn't enjoy the old run and gun mentality either. So, I don't know. I still think Doom 3 is a really good game. So I haven't tried this one out yet, so I don't know if it holds up, you know, graphically and stuff like that. But I think it does, because the lighting, especially the lighting on the engine they used, was breathtaking back in the day. So I think it's still pretty valuable. I also picked up Syndicate, which is a game that I, you know, almost completely forgot about. I picked it up when it dropped a bit in price. It's made by Starbreeze. It's a Swedish developer, and I think EA almost sent this game out to die because they released, I think it was released, you know, a week or so in conjunction with Mass Effect 3, so it was overshadowed a lot. And it looks interesting. I mean, Syndicate this is an FPS remake of a strategy game, and that always makes people a bit, you know, I would also rather see a normal Syndicate game, but Starbreeze is a studio that basically does FPSs, so I don't know what EA handed them the license. So I think that I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard good things if you enjoy FPS. Also picked up another copy of Armored Core 4, and that's because Armored Core 4, the copy I had before, is lost to me. It was lost during when we moved. We moved here, and to my knowledge, I only lost 2 games when I moved, and that's Armored Core 4 for the Xbox 360 and Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360. Now I have repurchased both of them. It's really annoying, and I don't know where in God's green earth those games have disappeared, but it's annoying, and it's a bit of a challenge to keep track of all your games when you have a lot of them. So I don't know if they have been stolen or what. Also picked up a sealed Japanese game. It's Automedius Automatus, I think it's Automatus Gorgeous or something. It's not Automatus Excellent anyway, because that was released in the US, and I purchased that as well. So this is the Japanese only version of it. Came with some sort of a, I don't know, trading card, I don't know. And also picked up Mamoru-kun something Shimata. It's a cute, almost a cute 'em up in the style of Pokken Rocky almost. Kiki Kai, and it looks really nice. This is the collector set, which came with soundtrack CD and The Perfect Terror, which is, I don't know, I think it's some Japanese players making cool speedruns of the game. So that's always nice. I got those two quite cheap. And while we're talking about the Xbox 360, I always pick up quite a few collector's editions. The first one I picked up was Dead or Alive 5. This is the collector's edition. I haven't opened it yet because I've had so many other games to play, but I'm very anxious to do so because Dead or Alive is a very carefree and fun to play fighting game. Also picked up Risen 2, which is a pirate-themed European-developed open world RPG. And I enjoyed the original Risen. That was a game that was, you know, if you had a PC you should play it on the PC, because the port for the Xbox 360 was pretty terrible. But this port to the 360 is much better. And although if you have a PC, I would probably go for the PC version because you can have better graphics and more options and stuff like that. But the controls and everything work very well with the Xbox 360 controller, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's rough around the edges, but I really enjoyed it. You know, the dialogue, the pirate theme is pretty unique, and there's a lot of stuff in here that I really enjoy. And also, I think the skill system in this game is pretty nice. So I would really recommend it. I don't think it's expensive at all. I think the collector's edition as well is pretty cheap. Also picked up Darksiders 2, which is another game I played. Risen 2 I've played, completed, and took all the achievements in, and the same goes for Darksiders 2. This was one of my most anticipated games, actually, because I really enjoyed the first Darksiders. It mixed a lot of The Legend of Zelda, Legacy of Kain and stuff like that. A lot of dark themes and temples and items and backtracking and you know, stuff that I really enjoy in an adventure game. And the second one, I feel, I mean, it's a good game. It was marred with some bugs and glitches at launch. I think most of them have been fixed. I've had a lot of friends whom had, you know, game-breaking bugs and stuff like that, and made them start all over and stuff like that. I never experienced any of these. I had some freezing issues on the Xbox 360, but nothing game-breaking, just annoying stuff. I mean, the music, amazing, absolutely amazing, and the art direction, amazing. But I think it was the ending was very disappointing. The game, it wasn't paced as well as the first one, I think. And also, I think Death was a bit of a... He wasn't as much of an interesting character as War, in my opinion. But I still enjoyed it, and I really hope they're making more of these. Since Vigil Games is a fantastic studio, and there's still two Horsemen's tales to be told before some kind of climactic ending can be ensued. So I really hope that Strife and Fury, I think it's Strife and Fury, gets their own games. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, but a bit of a disappointment. But that's always the case when you enjoy the original and you're really hyping, you're really building up the hype for the next game. And I mean, it's easy to get a bit disappointed. The newest collector's edition I picked up is probably this, I think, and that's the Assassin's Creed 3 Freedom Edition. I haven't played this one yet. I haven't even opened it because because I'm one of those asshats that didn't really like the original game, the first one. Actually, I played it through and I took all the achievements in it, but I thought it was a bit of a... Well, it was a bit of a bore, because when the massive assassinations was really, you know, where it was at, but you had to do all this filler shit between all the assassinations that I didn't enjoy at all. All these small, you know, what was all the... You had to you know, sit on a bench and listen to two guys talk, and you had to you know, do all these small filler missions before you could get all the intel for the final assassination. It was tedious, but I really liked the setting and stuff like that. So I haven't played the second one, but I own it. I haven't played Brotherhood or what was the last one? I don't even remember the name of the last one. But I have all the games, but I haven't played them yet. I have only played the first one. But people have told me that Assassin's Creed 2 is so much more better than the first one. So I really want to play that, to give that a chance and see where we go from there. Because I really want to play them in order. Because a game series like this has so much lore. I think if I jump straight into Assassin's Creed 3, I will be a bit lost. Since I don't know anything about Ezio or him, stuff like that. Also for the PS3, I picked up a couple of games, but I'm forgetting a lot of stuff to show you here. I'm sorry. For the 360, I also picked up this bad boy. I think a lot of people did. It's the Borderlands 2. This is the loot chest edition, and this is a game that a lot of people think should be Game of the Year 2012. And I don't know, perhaps. I was actually, when I started playing this, I was a massive fan of the original Borderlands. It came out when, I think it came out in the right time, the original Borderlands. It was new and it was new and fresh and stuff like that. And I mean, this is basically Borderlands 1.5. It's got everything the Borderlands 1 has and more. But for some reason I got bored of this very quickly, and I don't know why. The same thing happened with another game that I started to play, so it might just be me being a bit bored at video games overall at the moment. I don't know. But I've completed it. I took all the achievements in Borderlands 2. So I played it, you know, for quite a lot of hours, but it didn't have the same feeling or magic as the first one had for me. So I don't know yet, but I'm going to get back into this, and there's probably a new DLC on the way. And I hope I get a bit of that magic back, because I've been playing so much handheld games now, because I've grown bored of a lot of games. I started playing a game on some of my consoles, and I've just got bored so quick, so I had to, you know, grab a handheld, and for some reason that I haven't grown bored of handhelds. So, but it just might be my workload and everything like that makes me want to play shorter bursts. I don't know. Anyway, I really enjoyed the game, but it was a bit of a disappointment for me, and I don't know why. But I will get back to it and see if I feel the same way later. And then we picked up this game. This is Resident Evil 6, the Needle Bomb Edition. And I don't know what to say. I'm currently playing this, and I'm on Ada's campaign right now. And it's a real chore to try to play this game. I'm really not enjoying myself at all. At some points in the game there are some enjoyment, and when you start to get into the groove of things, you know, they just change up the formula immediately, and you get you know, you're back to basics again. And I don't know, I knew that Resident Evil had took a more actiony route But I had some, after the initial trailer for Resident Evil 6, I thought that Capcom would perhaps, maybe they would perhaps open their eyes and see what the fans wanted from a Resident Evil game, because Resident Evil Revelations on the Nintendo 3DS was a bit of a throwback to the old games. I mean, it still had the partner, and there were still different scenarios you had to play. But at least when you played Jill on the boat, you had the very creepy atmospheric boat to explore at your own leisure. And you had, limited ammo, it felt a lot like a survival horror game. But you had these, when they changed, when you played the other characters, you had a lot of action, a lot of, shorter scenarios with a lot of guns, a lot of, that wasn't really scary at all. But at least they tried to cater to everyone, and I thought that was exactly what they wanted to do with Resident Evil 6. They were going to have campaigns that was, this is the scarier one, this is the actiony one, and I think that's something that they wanted to do, but they failed at. Because the Leon campaign wasn't scary. People told me that's the best campaign, and I actually played that one first, and then I went to Chris's campaign, and then Jake's campaign, and so forth. And I don't know. I don't think perhaps Leon's campaign is the best of those three, but I mean, it doesn't mean it's necessarily good. It just means it's better than the other two. And now I'm in Ada's campaign, and that's where I start to feel a little bit more at home with it. It feels a little bit more like Resident Evil 4 than the other ones. I mean, you have some puzzles, and you don't have an AI partner, and you have, for some reason, I get the feeling that I have less ammo than in the other scenarios. So at the moment, Ada's campaign is the best one, but that doesn't mean that it's an amazing campaign. For some reason, I have a hard time. But that might be me being an old school Resident Evil fan. I really enjoyed the earlier games because we have enough of action games, and we have enough of third-person action games and first-person shooters. We don't need another one. We need more survival horror games. It's a bit of a drag for me. So a bit of a disappointment, but I'm going to see the game through because I'm a Resident Evil fan. I want to see what happened and stuff like that. So. Anyway, I also picked up some games for the PS3, of course, and the first thing I picked up was White Knight Chronicles 2. This has been available in Europe for quite a while, a couple of years actually, or at least 1 year. But I picked it up now while it was cheap and before it's starting to get hard to find. I played the first White Knight Chronicles a bit. I haven't played the second one, but I really want to do so. Picked up Yakuza Dead Souls, which I think is an amazing mishmash, and this is a game I really want to play. The Yakuza games mixed with zombie game, that's just hilarious, and I really want to play it. I've heard a lot of people thinking that it's a bad game, but because it's, the Yakuza games are usually a bit more, well, I don't know. The main complaint seems to be that it's too linear, but I haven't played it, so I can't confirm that. Also picked up an adventure game called Captain Morgaine and the Golden Turtle, and I don't know if this is good or not. A lot of people say it's bad, but I haven't tried it, so can't tell you much about it. Picked up the European version of Tales of Grace's F. I already have the American version, but I really wanted this really cool looking European version. And I usually always buy the European version as well, because I really want the publishers to know that we Europeans want these games as well. So if I import something because I really want to play it, and then something ends up being released here, I usually buy it just because I want the developers to get my money, so they can see, maybe we should start releasing games here, because Americans usually, the Wii games, Pandora's Tower and Lost Story and everything, we got those before America, and it's not even sure if America is going to get Pandora's Tower. And there's been a lot of whining about that, and I'm not going to. I really want the Americans to be able to get all the games we are getting, but you have to understand that we Europeans get, you know, almost, you know, we have been used to importing games a very long time. We didn't get Earthbound, we didn't get Chrono Trigger. Those are essential games, and that's back in the SNES days and stuff like that. Those are essential. We didn't even get Final Fantasy 3 or you know, rather 6 for the Super Nintendo. And it's the same thing right now. A lot of games isn't even released here, so we have to import and stuff like that. So I really want the European publishers to know that we want those games as well, so that's why I usually can pay for a game twice. I also picked up the European version of Darksiders II, Generations of War. This is the European Collector's Edition, which came with soundtrack CD, art book and stuff like that. I think the American version came with some kind of blow-up doll or something, I don't remember, a pillowcase, something like that. But I stuck with the European version, which is a small, rather small version, which is nice because a lot of collector's editions right now are really big and they take up a lot of room. Also picked up Mugen Souls for the PS3. This is the American import. This actually came out here in Europe, so it actually came out before the American version, so I think I have to pick that one up as well, just because, well, like I said earlier, I want to show the publishers that we Europeans want these games as well. So I bought this one and I got the figurines as well, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it's good or not. And then I picked up Super Street Fighter, or rather Street Fighter, the 25th anniversary set. And this was released only in America, I think, maybe in Japan as well. Got a bit of a crease down here from the shipping, which is a pity, but otherwise it's a really nice condition. I haven't opened it yet, but I know what it includes. And as a Street Fighter fan, I really wanted to have this, even though it wasn't released here in Europe. So I had to import it, and it was quite expensive. And the last two games I picked up was for the PC, and the first one is World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria, still sealed, haven't opened it, don't know if I want to do that. And that's basically because I played World of Warcraft back in the days. I was never, you know, massively into it, but I played it and I have all the collector's editions. And they came out with a new collector's edition and I really wanted to complete the set, so... But I really don't have any inclination of getting back into the game, so... But my girlfriend might, so let's see what happens there. And then we have a PC game that was a bit of a sloppy port, but still is one of the most amazing games I've ever played. And that's Dark Souls, Prepare to Die edition. And this just recently came out for the consoles as well, at least the DLC. But I couldn't wait. This was released in, I think it's late August or early September. And I picked it up because I couldn't wait to October to play the DLC, and I love the game. Really love the game. So yeah, this is just an amazing game. So I was really happy to pick that one up. And that's all the games I picked up these last 3 months. And there are more games on the horizon, and the Wii U releases in about a month. At least here in Europe. I think you Americans get it 2 weeks before we do. So I'll probably be looking at some reviews and stuff like that before I've already pre-ordered the unit with Zombie U and the Mario game and Tank, which is, I think, the games that I'm looking forward to the most. And there's some other games on the horizon and stuff like that, so I'll see you soon, guys, and have a good one.